Hey, what's going on guys, James here, and yesterday in my commentary I mentioned how I'd been so ill that I'd probably never eat KFC again, and when I said that I referenced the Simon story of the week where Simon, as a result, would never drink Coca-Cola again. Yesterday we retold that story, which was once told around a year and a half ago in one of our first ever podcasts. It was like 2.25 hours in, and so I thought I'd cut it out for anyone who didn't want to watch through that long, or just wanted to hear the story itself. It's like a 10 plus minute long story, but it is a very entertaining one, I think a fairly funny one, and probably worth a listen while you're playing Escape. So feel free to have a listen. Also, the podcast, there's a few things I want to quickly mention about it. Really quickly, Desecrator, his internet was like unusable yesterday. Something just went horribly wrong on his end. Not his fault, but hopefully we can have him back if he gets that sorted. And then also, people said that the VOD of the podcast was kind of stuttery every now and again. Every couple of minutes, it stutters for a couple of seconds, which is really annoying. That's on YouTube. It's happening to me as well. It's something to do with YouTube processing the huge amount of video footage there is. I don't really know what it is and how I can sort it, but I will try my best. But now for the Simon story of the week.
Basically, don't drink Coca-Cola. Is the message.
No.
Never again.
Don't drink copious amounts of any given liquid. I think it's the moral of the story. Oh, screw it. We're going to have to tell this thing, aren't we? Okay. School trip to New York, okay? We're with Simon, okay? And we're in the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah.
Don't know why. It's because the school have to claim it's an educational trip, even though it's not. Okay, so we had to do.
It's the worst name for a fucking art museum I've ever heard.
It's terrible as well. Modern art. Don't even get me and Simon started on modern art. Me and Simon aren't a big fan of the arts, and to say the least. And
arts, they're performing arts, but
modern art is a shambles. But okay, so we're in the Museum of Modern Art. And we're like, rather than look around this terrible museum of modern art, we could, like absolutely everybody else, hit the cafe. So we go to the cafe, and there is a free bottomless soda of your choice for let's just call it $3. So we're like, okay, that's cool. Gonna grab a bottomless soda for $3. So as you do, Simon decides, I must have my $3 worth, and refills his drink a few times. At this point, it's like, Simon, how many times have you refilled that soda? He's like, oh, this is like my fourth. It's like maybe a pint glass or something, and then it's like, and then it's a good friend Paul. Simon, can you do 10 pints of Coca-Cola? Through the bottomless refill. To this point, they're like, how? Even the museum are like, the Museum of Modern Art are like, are we really going to keep refilling your drink for you? So then someone else had to refill their drink to get Simon his 10 points worth of Coke. But Simon doesn't actually make the 10 points, I don't think.
I've got 9.5.
9.5. So he's got 9.5 points and doesn't quite make it. Probably something to do with the huge spike in blood sugar levels and mass amount of caffeine now in his body.
Okay.
How old were you? How old were you, Simon?
This was when we were upper sixth, so 18 years old. So this is only 3 years ago.
I was 18, and okay, so this is what happened to my senses in order. So I've just drunk about 4.5 to 5 litres of Coke.
I'm surprised you can remember the order.
In about an hour. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty full.
So apparently for American people that's over a gallon. It's over a gallon.
To start off with, I stopped tasting the Coke. Like I lost my sense of taste completely. That was gone. So I was like, okay, that's you kind of expect that. I was like, I've been drinking so much Coke that I imagine I wouldn't taste Coke anymore. But when it got weird was when people were like, Simon, how you coping? How you coping? You got to finish off that last one. And then everything just went silent, and then I realised people were still talking, and I couldn't hear them. I'd gone deaf. That was concerning, and I was like, guys, I've gone deaf.
You've just reminded me of the best ear story of all time. Is it still red?
That's hilarious.
After I'd gone deaf, then all of a sudden, what? There's spots. There's spots appearing on my vision. It's like,
Now
okay.
this is definitely something to do with the mass amount of glucose in your body right now.
So
Like,
I've got spots going on, and then all of a sudden the spots get more spotty, and it's like all of a sudden I can like see shit all. I'm blind. Like I'm such a good vision that I'm blind. I'm now blind, deaf, can't taste anything. Like, and literally my head is spinning because I'm that hyped on sugar, and then I end up just trying to basically walk around, try and walk it off. Just
yeah,
I'm
walk,
walking into
just gonna walk it off. You know, like your pins and needles or your head rush. Just gonna walk off the blind and deaf.
I had to convince, like, because it was like I had that much liquid in me. If someone had poked me, I would have just spewed everywhere.
I bet you told everyone it was because of the modern art.
No, but this is the best bit because it's a school trip. Obviously, we're not allowed, obviously, just to go wherever we want. I mean,
Yeah.
like, obviously, we're only 18 years old, which is we're legal to do kind of whatever we want in England, but in New York or in America, it's a different set of rules. And obviously, like, we have a lot of the teachers who go on the trip, even though like they were some of the coolest teachers that had taken us to New York just for the awesome trip of going to New York rather than doing something boring like going to the Lake District or like the Brecon Beacons or something. Like they still had some responsibility over us, so we had to like go at a set time. So it was like Simon couldn't quite finish the 10th pint and then had this kind of lapse which he's just talked about, and then we had to go. So we leave and we start walking a few blocks and we end up at the start of Central Park.
Corner of Fifth and
It was, I don't know where it was, it's somewhere. And then,
It's where the Plaza the hotel is. Isn't it?
and then anyway, at this point,
Yeah.
Simon's like, I kind of really need the toilet. And obviously, we're just like in
Oh,
the
God.
street of Manhattan. And
Yeah.
then it gets to this point where it's like, all right, guys, you can now split off into groups. You've got a couple of hours. Go and do as you fancy. But like, you must stay as at least like a group of at least 3 or something. Don't go off on your own kind of deal. But go
Don't-
off and do whatever you like. So at this point, we don't really realise the seriousness of how bad Simon's bladder. We don't realise the seriousness of how full Simon's bladder is becoming. And with Simon, we go off with about another 4 other people. I can't really remember who. And just over the road was FAO Schwartz. I think that's what it's called. Someone who's
F.A. Schwartz. Yeah.
someone
No.
who's remembered to remind me.
It's locked in my memory. It's just like I have nightmares about.
It's a giant toy store, and we go in the door, and there's these people demonstrating hacky sack.
It's fucking hacky sacks that
Hacky
I had to stand there for 10 minutes.
And
Which is shite
and obviously
presentation.
Simon is literally exploding. At this point, I turn around, right, and like all of us are like, we're fine. We're like, yeah, hacky sack, and there's these like guys who teach us how to do it, and we're all there like, huh, huh, like trying to be cool. I turn around, and Simon's like, he's like sweating. Like a whole new level.
Well,
It's
so I had to
like,
control that somehow. The only way my body could do it at the time.
like he's like sweating so bad, like it's like beyond belief. Anyway, so like he's like, dude, I really need the toilet, like so bad. And like and then to everyone it was hilarious because everyone had witnessed this. It was so funny because he was like, it was like laugh at. It was effectively like laugh at Simon's like mass discomfort of how bad he needs a loo and how bad he is sweating like full out. And then so then we go upstairs and there's a giant piano on the floor. It's like a piano laid on the floor that you can stand on. It like lights up and makes like.
If you're like 8, but no, these 18-year-old people are like, yeah, let's
We're
go.
like, yeah, like jump on the piano. Simon's there like dying inside, and then I'm like, okay, right, I'm gonna go and, like while people are playing on the piano, I was like, I'm gonna go and ask someone. I went over to the security guard, and I was like, excuse me, like I have a friend who is absolutely desperate for the toilet. Is there a toilet in this building? And he's like, yeah, it's just by the top of the escalator on the way for the way down. And I was like, okay. I go over to Simon, and I'm like, dude, I've just asked there is a toilet, and Simon's like, stop being a dick. he thinks I'm like trolling him, like full out thinks I'm trolling. He's
You
like,
know, that's because there was about 5 out of the other people we were with, like 5 of them had already got up to me like, "Dude, there's a toilet over there, the toilet's right in there," and there wasn't. Like I'd been walking around like, where the fuck? Like I was literally, this place is full of like cuddly toys. I was gonna have to just piss somewhere and just cover it up with like a pet dragon. I was like, it was gonna be dire straits.
and then I was like, dude, there is a toilet at the top of my skirt, and then down. He's like, stop just lying to me. And he's like in so much discomfort,
Oh,
and like just lives it out. And then when we're finally finished, I'm like, let's go down the escalator. There's a toilet right there, and he's like, no, like wished he'd listened to me before.
But no, went straight in, and all the urinals were taken. I was like, God damn! But there was a cubicle, and went for what I think. I didn't get the official Guinness certificate, but I'd have to say it's the world record for the longest piss that a human has ever done.
No.
Yeah, my net. For those who don't know, my net just DC'd.
Happens to the best of us.
So, yeah, the other world record I reckon it was is the world's most pleasurable piss.
Oh yeah, but that's a personal judgment. Like, actually no, it wasn't. It wasn't because it can never. Nothing in life can be that pleasurable when I was literally like, all my clothes were sodden with sweat. Like it was like, oh my god, that
Like,
was just.
You were sweating the piss out.
To be fair, I didn't really notice. It was like, yeah, it was the best piss ever. But it was so long. It was like literally full stream. Full like obviously apologies for any like female listeners.
This is not the most,
But I was going
Evidence.
full stream for like 2.5, maybe 3 minutes. No lie. Like it was that bad. And then because I was in this cubicle and it was fairly loud. Like people could hear it, and it was just like there was just one American guy. All I heard, like everyone was kind of just quiet as you are in a toilet. Otherwise, it's weird. But it's like, oh my god, how long is that guy gonna piss for? And I was just like, I was so tempted just to laugh. I would have said I was so tempted to piss myself laughing, but quite clearly I was already in a state of pissing, so it doesn't really work. But other way, I did that, finished up that like 3-minute piss, walked out, looked like literally the weight of the world was off my shoulders. I was like, oh thank God. But it was. But then we went for lunch. I think we went to a McDonald's for lunch, like literally 40 minutes later, 40 minutes later, and I went for another like minute and a half long piss in there, and I was like, oh yes.
You ordered like your Big Mac, and they're like, what would you like to drink? Nothing.
Oh dear. Like I should have just chucked that Coca. Like if someone had poked me and I'd thrown up, that would have been beneficial. Because like surely, like I probably gave myself type 2 diabetes from that. Like I'm surprised I didn't lose a limb.
Yeah, that was
the
a
amount
funny,
of sugar.
that
Oh,
was a
jeez.
funny
You lost
day.
all your senses. Something was
But-
going
Yeah,
on.
no, like that, like 3 or 4 minutes, I was really worried because I was like literally I was deaf and it was like it was fading in and out, and then kept on getting these spots on my vision. I was really dizzy. I thought I was gonna pass out. It's so bad.
That was the
And-
worst decision you've ever
And that
made.
was now actually. It's depressing to think. Was that really 3.5 years ago?
I think so, yeah. Like that long.
3.5. Oh man, that was ages ago.
Life
And
just flies by.
yeah, that is depressing. But yeah, that was 3.5 years ago. I haven't drunk Coke since then, so that's a
Why
pretty
not?
impressive feat. Because I just refuse to drink it. I'm just like, no. If it can do that to a person, it shouldn't exist. It's a dangerous substance.
No, even water would do that to a person. If
The
you
best thing is the comment
tap
here.
the water.
What did you expect? Simon was parched. But that's it. That's like Simon doesn't drink Coke. I will never drink
Oh
it. I will
God!
never-
There's Simon is sodden. Oh God, please, that's not the start.
It's like Simon will never drink Coke and I will never eat KFC again, basically, which is where the reference of the Coke thing came up.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
then took 15 minutes and a DC to explain. That was a little bit long-winded.
But there we go. That's it. Anyway, guys, I think we'll probably end the stream with that. Hope you did enjoy.
I'm not gonna lie. I think these live streams, the amount of like percentage random chat to percentage skate talk is diminishing week.